gorgeous out here.
I feel like $100.
Yeah. I might, 150.
Maybe 150.
$150.
Maybe 169. Anyway, welcome back to the sack. Yep, it's going to be that segment. The redoubtable one himself, Tom is without a question, when Arjun Miliaccio, segment 2, all things basketball, college and pro. Look, there was a game last night up in Boston, the oldest rivalry in the NBA. Renewed itself, but again, this was a limping opponent as Joel Embiid was
That's
not
the
there
oldest
again.
rivalry in the NBA.
In the NBA, the Celtics Sixers are the oldest rivalry in the NBA. Yeah.
Were the Sixers ABA?
No, they were one of the originals.
They were.
But they were the Philadelphia Warriors first, and then they changed it to the Sixers. And
Who were the Nets ABA? Who was like the famous ABA?
The Nets were
team?
ABA. The Pacers were ABA. The San Antonio Spurs.
Dr. J ABA?
Yep, the Nets.
Nets. Okay,
The
that's
Nets,
what I was.
yeah.
I was thinking.
Dr. J is not one of the guys who changed basketball also. And he doesn't get enough credit for that.
So
I'm probably the only guy he's in my top 10. And everybody thinks I'm crazy. I'm like, he changed basketball. He did. He changed basketball the way Bird and Magic changed it, but he was the first guy that really played above the rim. He changed everything.
And I mean, that's
everybody
really
was trying to dunk from outrageous places after
your top
Dr.
10
J.
should be all guys that changed the game.
Well, this is what I was trying to explain to Joel. Accolades are one thing, and you got to have them. And he's got those too, don't get me wrong. But you've got to have an impact on the game itself.
In a different level.
Meaning after you're gone, you in some way should influence the game.
Yeah.
Bird and Magic was twofold. One, they saved the league from extinction. And two, every wing player that you see now that is 6'8 to 6'11, that's Bird and Magic. It literally is. LeBron James is a product of Bird and Magic. So it was Grant Hill, Scott, all of them. Every great wing player from 2000 on, rather actually 1996 on, because Bird retired in 92 and Magic was 94, that's Bird and Magic. That's why the game is the way it is now, in terms of all these guys that big can handle the ball and play like guards now. Bird and Magic were the first. They were ahead of their time.
That's kind of why Steph Curry should be like 10.
The only reason he is not 10 is because the guys that are above, if I give you the list of the 10 that are there,
You got to mash him
that
in.
are there, I mean, who are you kicking out? It's like,
You're right.
it's not that he couldn't be there, but it's like, to me, it's going to end up being,
But his shooting is
to me, it's not
impactful.
going to be 10. It's going to end up being 20 in about maybe 5-10 years.
There's too many players.
There's too many good players now that Steph Curry's one of them, Kevin Durant's one of them, LeBron James, of course. Like, I had LeBron James at 10.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks I'm crazy, but if you look at the 9 I got in front of him, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Dr. J, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Bird, Magic, and Jabbar. Think of the 10 people I just mentioned. And tell me how LeBron is better than
Did
any
you say
of them.
Jordan?
Jordan is number 1. Yeah, Jordan. That's the 9 I got in front of LeBron James. And here's the difference. Every one of the guys I'm talking about, not only do they have the accolades to get on that list, but LeBron hasn't changed the game. What has he done that's influenced the game in any way? He's not the first big wing that could play a positionless play. That's Bird and Magic. He's not them. So he didn't do that. So what has he really done to change the game? He's the best player of this generation. I'm not saying he's not. That's why he's in my top 10. He's a generational talent, and that's how he got on the list. But in terms of changing the game, Steph Curry did more to change the game than LeBron James did.
That's probably true.
And by the way, if I were to bump LeBron James, it would be for Steph Curry, because here's the problem. They got the same amount of rings, and Steph is 3-1 against him in the finals. And Steph has 2 league MVPs. Steph won without KD, okay, twice. Okay, so I'm saying his running mate was usually Klay Thompson. LeBron James is Dwayne Wade, okay, fucking Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis. Compare Klay Thompson to those 3. No, doesn't add up.
Draymond.
It doesn't. Yeah, Draymond. Draymond is the beneficiary of them, not the other way around.
Well, Steph and the Warriors played better basketball. They played it. They played better team basketball. That's how
they were
beat
the
them.
first team that won a title from the 3-point line. They're the only team to do it.
But the way they move the ball,
No, but that's
they
part of
always
it.
got good shots.
But they pass well too. I'm just saying, but that's what they did.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about that is they influenced the whole league to change when all anybody had to do was get a dominant big man and kick the shit out, and it'd be all done. And no one for 10 years tried to do that.
Yeah.
And now it's happening again. The big man's coming back, and look at what's happening. Do you realize that Jokic, in his last 11 games, let's listen to this one, America. Jokic's last 11 games that he's played against, this is a combined record now, Steph and LeBron, guess what his record is?
11 games?
In the last 11 games against Steph and LeBron combined.
I don't know.
Guess what his record is against them?
10-1.
11-0.
Oh man, I was
11-0.
Yeah.
Think about this for a minute, okay? And Jokic is in the prime of his career. He's got time left. Who knows what he's going to end up doing? But he's already well on his way. He's the front runner for league MVP, even though the Celtics are 7 games ahead of them.
And he doesn't even give a shit.
No, he doesn't even give a shit. Which is the best part about it, honestly. He's not a me, look at me. He's not a narcissist at all. He's the opposite of it. So he's
I don't think he cares enough about basketball to be narcissistic.
He loves to play. He would if it were up to him, he'd just go play pickup out outside for the rest of his life. He wouldn't care. He loves to play basketball. He's a hoop junkie. Mm-hmm. The rest of this crap, the celebrity crap, he doesn't want.
Yeah.
He's a lot like Bird in that sense. Bird didn't like it either.
Well, I heard him talking about how like he could never see himself playing without Jamal Murray.
They're great teammates. And they're great friends.
And he was just like, and somebody was asking, I can't remember who was interviewing him, but he was just talking about how like they've come up together.
They have.
And he's like, so
a lot like Brown and Tatum.
Exactly.
Like them.
Exactly. Like
and by the way, Thompson and Curry, the same thing.
Yeah.
So those groups come up together.
But now that duo it's off now, and I guess Clay is fading. Clay had injuries, right?
He was never the same after that.
No.
He had back-to-back injuries.
2 years.
He was never the same again.
Yeah, but there seems that whole team just doesn't vibe right anymore.
No, but by the way, they're on a run right now.
I know. I just
weird.
Something weird.
They're making another run. I don't know how far they're going to go, but they're.
What's their record right now?
They're 32.
Above 500.
They're like 4 games above 500.
Okay.
They won like 10 out of 11 or 12 out of. If it wasn't for Boston,
really?
Yeah. If it wasn't for Boston, the one loss in there was Denver. They beat everybody but Denver in this stretch, I guess.
They play the Knicks tomorrow night.
They play the Knicks tomorrow night.
Fucking depleted. Yeah. It's like Mike, the fucking G League Knicks.
They play the New York Injured Reserve.
I mean, come on.
No, it's not fair.
It's annoying.
It's not fair, but I'm saying, like, again, that's not a game the Knicks are projected to win because, again, that team right now is fighting for a playoff spot, and the Knicks are missing everyone but Brunson.
Right.
So how are you going to compete with those guys? Now, look, could Brunson offset Steph? Yes, he could. He could do enough to offset
he might not even play.
That's the other thing. He's hurt.
He had neck spasms. That's why they lost to the Pelicans. And then Hartenstein goes down.
Oh,
it's like your backups are going down. Now you got your backups back up.
And the one problem with Tibbs is that his response to something like this is to do 2-a-days.
His response to this is, we're losing by 30. Josh Hart, play 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And they don't even play 50 minutes. But
the problem with Tibbs has always been he works them too hard in the regular season.
Drives people into the ground.
He doesn't understand and that's his one drawback really. But it's a big one because they have to have fresh legs if they're gonna, and they can't. They're all dead. His teams are always exhausted. Now here's where Stephen A was optimistic because all these guys are hurt. He can't wear them out.
But he can. He's gonna wear out whoever's able to play.
I mean. So
Josh Hart, did you see what happened to Josh Hart last night?
No.
He drives to the rim. Zion goes up for the block, swings as hard as he can, nips the ball, and just bam! Blasts him in the face. His nose is bleeding. They didn't even call a foul.
Oh shit!
He's looking in the ref's face with a towel, going
blood everywhere.
What the fuck?
When I pick my nose,
and that's on the heels of the Knicks scraping by the skin of their testicles.
I was going to leave this alone, but since you brought it up.
Fucking Monty Williams crying like a little baby.
Well.
New York media? Where's the New York media at?
Well.
Why are you yelling at the media because the NBA refs suck?
He wants to make sure it gets in print.
Shut the fuck up. Of course it's getting in print. You think New York media is going to lie that we got a good call?
No, because they can't lie. It's on camera. You can't.
But why were we got fucked from a call in Houston last week.
You did. And they brought that up today, too. Well, that one didn't get overturned.
We came back. We tied the game. We battled the fuck back, short-handed, and the guy calls...
It all evens up, America.
The guy calls a foul on a three-pointer after the fucking buzzer.
It all evens up.
Okay, then they came out with the 2-minute report.
I thought the missed call, though, on your guys was way worse than the one on Jalen Brunson. That one
should have been a no call.
It should have been a no call. Mm-hmm. I agree. But this one was way worse. This one he practically tackles the fucking guy.
But,
I just sat there because I didn't see it live. When you texted me, I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? And then I went to SportsCenter, and it just kept running it back and back. I'm like, oh, no.
I was watching it on my phone. I was watching it on TikTok. Somebody's streaming the game.
Wow.
They've got their phone recording their TV. And I see Brunson first takes the three. He missed a lot at the end there.
Yeah.
Takes the three, misses it. Fucking bounces around, throws back in. We steal it away.
Yeah.
DiVincenzo throws it right to the other fucking
By the way,
team.
that pass he threw was one of the worst passes I've ever seen in my. He threw it right at the other guy.
Yeah.
He hit him in the stomach with it.
He steps out on his pivot foot, like bang,
like trying to be fancy, and he goes, "I'm gonna put it right in the breadbasket." He did.
But see, the weird thing is,
was
instead of just catching that ball, that guy
bumbles it,
tries to start a break.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, hold the ball, and they foul you, and now you go up 4 or whatever.
He starts trying to do a fast break.
He goes on a fucking fast break.
Tries to.
But never really gets the ball.
It was cut abruptly short.
Well, see, that's the thing I've seen people argue, even though it's a bad argument.
Oh, God.
It was a loose ball, so people are like, he has every right to the ball. It's like,
well, if he went for the ball, that would have been one thing.
Well, he went for the ball with this arm, and then his shoulder
literally, that looked like a form tackle.
It looked like
the only thing he didn't do was wrap. If he had wrapped up, it would have been a perfect form tackle.
If he had wrapped up, they would have called it.
Wrapped up.
Then they would have called it.
Then they would have called it.
Yeah, so they get away with that.
Oh, my God.
Then Josh Hart can't hit a free throw.
The irony is, the guy who threw the awful turnover is the one who got away with the penalty. He got rewarded. Like, you should have got 2 fouls. One for that stupid fucking pass. And then it's like, give me a break. But, no, to his point, they got porked in Houston a week ago, so ago on a bad call.
But also, they came out with the 2-minute drill, or the 2-minute report.
Yeah.
After every game, the NBA releases that.
Yeah.
And they said the Pistons actually benefited from 2 bad calls the other way in the final 2 minutes of the game.
Well, I didn't see it. So
I just thought Monty Williams, the way he cried.
He snapped.
It's like, dude,
if you were the coach of a team like that, you'd eventually snap too.
But my thing is like,
and with the way before this, you might have hung yourself.
Stop. I can't take it. They went 0 for a month.
I'm saying.
And he's crying about this call.
At some point, he was going to break.
He's just like, you know what? We finally had a fucking win.
That's what it was. We actually got a win, and you took it away from us. We can't win, and you take the one we could have won away. That's his thing.
Nick should have never been in that position. They blew it to get it to that point.
They did. But the thing is,
they're also shorthanded.
They're shorthanded too. But the thing is, if you're the Pistons, and actually, Monty Williams, when he was in Phoenix, did very well. He took him to the finals as the coach.
And then they fired him.
They fired him because they're just donkeys. You took us to the finals. That's not good enough. Get out.
Get out. Did they fire him right after that or the year after?
I think it was the year after, but that was more. The thing is, they got banged up the next year. That wasn't his fault, and they still got to the playoffs.
Yeah, who was out?
But they didn't go as far. The center, for one, Chris Paul.
Oh, DeAndre Ayton.
They got banged up.
And they got rid of him.
So they got banged up. It wasn't his fault. You can't blame the coach if he loses 2 of his top 3 players. And for Devin Booker got hurt too. You can't blame him for that.
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't out the whole season, but he missed a lot of the season. The thing is, like, that's not his fault.
Who's their coach now?
Who's the coach of Phoenix now?
Is it the old Lakers and Pacers coach?
It's oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, it is Frank Vogel.
Frank Vogel, yeah, who won a title in the bubble with LA. So, and did well in Indiana originally.
Oh, so Monty got fired at the end of last year.
That's what it was. It was his first year with the Pistons. Clearly, he had no idea what he was getting into.
God.
He went from the penthouse to the outhouse.
Really?
That's
tough.
And then, on a very, very, very egregious missed call, he finally blows a gasket. Now you're calling him a crybaby.
Well, look, it's about time the garden served its purpose, and we actually got a call in the garden.
About time the Mecca earned its name.
No, they always say you get home court advantage in basketball. We fucking had it.
Not for nothing, but the Pistons put the fear of God in Paolo Banchero a couple nights back, if you recall. I'm just saying.
Did you see what
I'm just saying.
Knicks benefit from a no call and get a win. No one cried in the press conference.
No one cried. But, I mean, the thing is, like, injuries, especially in the NBA where it's just 5-on-5, it impacts you more. It's just harder to fill
As opposed to the CNBA where it's 7-on-7?
No, I'm thinking like compared to other sports because it's just 5-on-5. So if that's 20% of your whatever. If it's and depending on the player, it can really kill you. Yeah. So that's the thing about the NBA. If you lose 2 of them, like in the Knicks case, now you're struggling to stay above water. So this is my point. So I hate when coaches get fired for stuff that's beyond their control.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to the Bucks coach. They win a championship, and because Giannis gets hurt, they wouldn't have lost to Miami if he didn't get hurt. And he gets fired in the wake of that. I'm like, what are you, nuts? You just won a championship 2 years ago. Your best player missed most of the series. That's why you lost.
Was that Budenholzer?
Yeah, who's now coaching, where is he now?
Budenholzer got a job?
Yeah, he got fired. Yeah, he's in a different place already. I forget where he is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forget where he is. But anyway, the point is, in the NBA, where the loss of one significant player is magnified because it's just not as many. It's not like you can't hide. So,
God damn it.
In any event, which leads us to.
Hold on a second.
What? What are you looking at?
Fucking Brunson.
Oh, what happened? Oh, the neck. Is this a updated story?
Neck spasms is listed as questionable. I thought there was an update.
In any event, while we're talking to you, in the second quarter, just in times to go, the Clippers are up 38-31 on the fake show for the battle for L.A. Lakers are now 31-28 because the Celtics and Knicks didn't bury them like they should have. So now they have a pulse. I blame the Celtics for that, more so than the Knicks. The Knicks were still banged up. So, and those guys played against the Knicks, whereas they didn't play against the Celtics. So, anyway, Boston could have buried them and gave them life. So here we are. They just scored. They're down 5. Which leads us to the Celtics. Last night, they beat the undermanned Philadelphia 76ers, who were missing league MVP candidate Joel Embiid, 117-99, which on the surface, okay, 18 points, but it wasn't about the win. It was about the way they did it. I had texted him last night. The funny thing is, I didn't really hear a peep about it today, except from one up in Boston. When I checked up there locally, they brought up 2 guys liked it, and 2 guys were like, it's not good enough. And where Michael Felger and the other guy there, there's 3 of them on that show. There's Felger, Maz, and I forget the other guy there. He's the newer guy. But anyway, he sided with Felger on this, saying, look, we never thought this. Because here's the thing. Boston had the fewest 3-point attempts in the game for the season. They took 22 for the game. Okay? They only made 5. Philadelphia, conversely, made 14. So Philly made 9 more threes than Boston. Now, this is where I laugh at the analytics. This is just where you can take your analytics and shove them up your analytical ass. They hit 9 more threes, and they lost by 18 points. So what do your analytics say about that? Okay? They took more, they made more by a large percentage, and it didn't matter. You know why it didn't matter? You fucking donkeys who invented that shit in the first place? Because at the end of the day, a 2-point shot is much higher than a 3-point shot. And if you keep yielding that, you're going to lose. I don't care if you put Larry Bird, Ray Allen, Steph Curry, any great shooter together, that you won't overcome that. Okay, you won't. And Philly outshot them by 9 from that spot. And in the second half, Boston simply stopped taking it for the most part and went to the basket. Now, here's why it happened. Because they went to the basket, they went to the foul line 37 times. And of that 37, Tom, they hit 34.
Wow.
That there was the game, okay? And that's got nothing to do with analytics and simple basketball 101.
They do that every night? You can go ahead and lock it up.
Well, the thing is, Philadelphia made a point to, we're going to guard the 3-point line. They literally were like playing 5. You should have seen every set. There was 5 out. There was no one inside. They were like, you're not shooting the 3. And Boston finally figured it out and said, okay. And they went to, and all of them. Jaylen Brown had 31 points on 14 shots. Let me say that again for the analytical people. He had 31 points on 14 shots, and only one of them was a 3-pointer.
Wow.
So what do your analytics have to say about that, you fucking idiots?
Man, how many shots did he miss?
He was 11 for 14.
Wow.
Do you know why that percentage was so high? Because most of them were fucking layups and dunks, you donkeys. That's why. 11 for 14 from the field, 31 points. That is some analytics for you. Okay? And when he missed, he went to the foul line. He was 8 for 10 from the foul line. There's your fucking analytics wrapped up in a nice little nutshell.
What was Tatum's numbers?
Tatum was 29, 11, and 8. He was 10 for 11 from the foul line. Okay? And he took only 3 threes and made 1.
Wow.
And Porzingis was 23 and 11. Okay? So there's your analytical three-point bullshit in a nutshell. Okay?
Oh, God, hard.
And the Celtics, the reason I was texting him with glee is because this is the thing I never thought I'd see them do. Now, the one deterrent on this, the one deterrer rather, was Tony Maserati, who should stick to baseball after this, saying how it wasn't good enough. What do you mean it wasn't good enough? Well, that Philly was missing Embiid, and Felger and the other guy knew their. It's actually, I think it's Jay Murray, who I like them both. But if they knew basketball the way they did, the first thing they said was, "Well, last year without him, they lost to him in a playoff game." Because that's all they would have had to say, and Maz would have had to shut the fuck up. Because this whole thing was, well, they did it because Embiid wasn't on the floor. Yeah, and they've never done it before against weaker teams than this one. They've never done it. So they've.
I think honestly that's 2 games in a row.
2 games in a row. Yeah.
Because they didn't take the Knicks lightly.
Nope, they only took 35 of them.
You know.
Yeah, and they had 62 points in the paint.
So they played hard, and they did the smart thing.
Yeah.
And then they did it again against
Philly.
Philly.
When they figured out Philly was going to make them not shoot threes or nothing was going to be open, they put their head down and said, all right, we're going to kill you now. And they methodically pulled away. And then Maz tries to go, well, it was with 9 minutes to go. It was 91-89. What he fails to mention is that happened because Philly made 3-pointers on 3 consecutive possessions. That's why that happened. Okay? But here's the problem, Tony, and you always blast the Celtics for it. It can't sustain itself. Okay? Boston played defense, held them under 100 points, and closed them out.
So it got close, and they still didn't start chucking them? That's good.
No, that's what Maz is missing. It's like, Maz, they made a run on threes. You would have thought them watching the well, fuck it, we're going to start shooting them now. That would have been what you thought they would have been. Nope, they kept trudging along. And kudos to Mazzulla. He called timeouts last night, and he called them at the right time. Whenever they made a run, because Boston led most of the way, but Philly was ahead in the first half for a while. But whenever they started making a run, he called the timeout and stopped the bleeding. He did it every fucking time. He didn't wait too long. It was great coaching. It was the best game I actually seen him coach last night. Okay?
And they end up next few?
They have Golden State this weekend.
So they're on the Knicks schedule.
Yeah.
It feels like they're always on the same.
They have somebody else at home, and they go on the road. Next week on the road, Cleveland Tuesday, Denver Thursday. This is that week is going to tell me.
I want to see them play the smart way against those teams.
Yeah, because they were beating Denver, though. Ready for this? They lose at home by Denver by 2. Denver only led for 2 minutes and 54 seconds in the entire game.
Who lost to Denver, you're saying?
Celtics lost at home. Denver was the first team to beat them at home. They lost to them by 2 points. They lost 102 to 100, and they led for all but 2 minutes and 54 seconds of the game. But they played stupid. They had double-digit leads on 3 occasions and shot Denver back into it. Literally kept shooting threes. So, and Denver just said, all right, and just eventually caught him, like the tortoise in the hare. Okay? So, that'll be a test. At Cleveland.
They've got Dallas this Friday.
Yep, who's playing well.
Oh, that's nice, though.
Yeah.
I want to see them do it because Dallas is another team.
Dallas is on the rise.
Yeah.
Yep. They're a dark horse now. A lot of people think they can make a run on the West because of their defense. The moves they made at the trade deadline were the equivalent of what I think the Lakers did last year.
Really?
Yeah, because they had actually are playing defense. They're rebounding better, and Luka and Kyrie have figured out how to play off each other, and they have been lighting people up. They should have beat Cleveland last night in Cleveland. That was a fluke. I mean, the guy hit it from 59 feet for Christ's sake. I mean,
but also with like 3 minutes left, they were down 10.
That kid hit 4 threes in a row before that.
It was 110 to 100, and then he went bang, bang, bang.
He hit 4 threes in a row before the 59-footer. So after he hit the third one, honestly, it should be 2. Once a guy hits 2 in a row in the NBA, he's hot.
Yeah.
He's hot. So now the coach yells,
and he hits a three-quarter.
Double him. No, don't do that. He hits 2 more. And then when you're up 2, you'd think, well, let's find the one guy who's killed us. No, they didn't find him.
Deny him.
Deny him the ball. No, that didn't happen either.
But I mean, he hit a 3-quarter shot. 3-quarter.
No, that one. But again, it shouldn't have come down to that.
That's true.
Dallas should have been up 6 points when he took that shot, not up 2. So again, they didn't cover him the whole quarter. So His fifth consecutive one was the dagger from 59 fucking feet. But look, Dallas is playing well. Boston has them, I think, first. They have them Thursday?
They have them Friday.
Friday. And then they have, on Sunday, they have Golden State. And then they go to, this is a hell of a stretch. Think about the next 4 games for them. Dallas, Golden State, Cleveland, Denver.
And then guess who's after that?
Who?
Phoenix.
That's a stretch.
So
That's going to tell us a lot.
They go home against Dallas, Golden State.
Yeah.
Then they go to Cleveland, go to Denver, go to Phoenix.
That's rough.
Go to shitty Portland.
Yeah.
Go to shitty Utah. Yeah. Although Utah's actually a tough
team.
Not
that bad, yeah. Portland's the one cupcake in that schedule.
Then they come home and play Phoenix. Yeah. Then they finally get a reprieve, and they play Washington and Detroit back to back.
After all that, you deserve Washington.
After all that,
I think after all that, that's fair. I
think and then it goes Milwaukee. Then it goes back to Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta. So they'll get to recharge.
Yeah, but they got that's a murderous stretch. Those 6 games. That's murderous. You better get the 2 at home. Because the road ones are going to be tough.
The road ones are going to be.
They're going to be tough. But again, they have more talent than all of these teams. Mm-hmm. So honestly, if they split, they go 3-3. Okay, it's like that's all right.
Yeah.
So if they go 4-2, oh shit. Okay, just beat Denver. Just if you do nothing else, beat Denver. Just to prove,
if you do nothing,
just do nothing. You can go lose the rest of them. Just fucking beat Denver. I don't care. Just because that'll show me something. Because Denver's the one team that I think can beat them, and because they were stupid. Let's see what they've learned. But anyway, I like what happened last night. I never thought I would see it. So that's encouraging. That's a start. For Mavs to say it's not good enough when Philly didn't have Embiid, or who on Philly scares you? Well, other than Maxey, who's an all-star and dropped 30, he scares me. He's pretty scary. That kid's pretty fucking scary. And then he's trying to say, and this is the thing about Mavs, he speaks before he looks. But Philadelphia, even they made some trades, by the way, Mavs. They did. They made some trades. So they're not as good without Embiid as they are with him. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But to sit there and say they stink or they're nothing or they're good news for you, they're not. They're not. So
they'll still give you a tough game.
They'll still give you a tough game. They are well coached.
Awesome.
Yeah, the coach there came from Toronto. He won a world championship in Toronto. Norris. He's an excellent coach. He really is an excellent coach. And Maz didn't bring that up either. Okay? So this is what I liked about what Mazzulla did. He didn't take the bait. Mm-hmm. He thought that I'm going to make them, because they'll just back up and shoot it further. Right. He didn't take the bait. He told his team, they're going to do it fine. Put your head down and go to the fucking basket.
Yeah.
And he was right, and he caught. Nurse thought he would catch him, and because they'll just be stubborn about it. He thought, because then that's their pattern, and they changed it up on him. That's credit to Mazzulla going, go to the fucking basket. Don't settle for this shit. They can't. There's no shot blocker in the lane, and if you get by one, you should have seen the highlight reel dunks in the second half. It looked like a fucking layup line in a fucking all-star movie. It was like every fucking one dribble, Porzingis, bang, Brown, bang, Tatum, bang, 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 bang. It's like, what the fuck? At one point, the rim was going to just give up. Uncle! Fucking Harden. So the thing is, they did that, and the only reason they didn't dunk is because Philly fouled them. And they went 34 for 37, which is something the 86 Celtics would do. Okay, you foul Parrish, McHale, and Bird, they're going to fucking do that to you, because they did more than once. To see the Celtics win like that was very encouraging, because I didn't think they had it in them. I didn't. I never thought I'd see them do it. And now, counting the Knicks, it's kind of been like 2 games in a row they've taken this approach. Mm-hmm. So let's hope that this is a trend, and it continues, and it's not just a fluke. In any event, which leads us to closing tonight. You saw this video, right? This is not NBA related. Cam Newton, the Brawl. Most of you may have seen this. Stories started to come out yesterday saying that there was rival football camps that were playing against each other and they were talking TSPs. Trash. Yeah, and it spilled over into the next day. And look, I don't know who said what to who. Okay, but and somebody brought this up, but they said they Eli and Peyton may have been running football camp for 20 years. Nothing like this ever happens.
It was Shannon Sharp.
Yeah. And I'm kind of curious as to what he meant by that. Because Cam Newton's a league MVP. He's been to a Super Bowl. I mean, his career was cut short by injury. Yeah. But he was on his way to being a Hall of Famer had he not gotten hurt. Because he had the numbers. He literally carried a team to a Super Bowl. He pretty much did, if we're being honest. Okay, now he wimped out in that game. Remember we talked about the fumble where he didn't dive at him.
I thought he meant it from a racial standpoint.
Maybe he did. I don't know.
Like, to me,
Well, it was
the way he was saying is like as if he's embarrassed for what he sees as, his people. Because he was like, this doesn't happen at Peyton Manning and Eli Manning's camp. He goes, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So that's how it sounded to me. Like, he felt like, bad about it from a racial standpoint.
Okay.
Which I don't think you need to blame it on racial stuff.
Well, he felt bad for Cam Newton because he does this camp to give something back. And
but the people who caused this, it's not because of their race.
No.
They're assholes.
They're assholes. There's plenty of other assholes that are not African American.
No, you host the camp with a bunch of people. It's possible
you're looking at two of them.
It's possible that assholes can show up. So
you never know.
I mean, I understand what Shannon is saying, in terms of.
Well, they have no respect for the guy.
Feeling like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it sucks,
simple trash talking from a it's a camp event. I mean, this isn't like for the world championship of anything. It's just it's like an exhibition game. It's not that big of a deal.
But then a bunch of videos have surfaced, and they've been out there. I remember when they came out years ago of kids like just spouting off at Cam Newton at his camps. Could you imagine doing that? Going to a guy's camp and disrespecting him?
An all-pro league MVP guy, not a scab.
No.
A scab would be wrong. This guy.
A national champion.
Yeah, national champion at Auburn.
Not at Alabama.
No, Auburn. He beat Alabama. This is one of those guys that slayed the Giants.
Exactly.
No, that kind of resume commands your respect.
But then two of the guys that were in that video of the jumping, I heard them on a podcast saying, like, Cam started it. Like, he was talking all this trash, and the one guy was like, look, I came around and he had his hands on my brother, so I jumped on him. And I'm just like... But Cam didn't even seem upset. Like, he was smiling at the end of it. Dudes were punching him.
Well,
and he's like holding guys off with one arm and shit.
Yeah, he's a 6'5", 200. He's a fucking specimen.
He didn't seem like he was being the aggressor.
No. That's the thing.
He was trying to stop it, it seemed like.
He's trying to stop them from hitting him, but now he's not trying to fucking lay him out.
No.
Because believe me, he could.
Yeah.
He could. So, I don't...
Pretty well.
I don't blame Cam Newton for this at all. I'm whoever these kids were, whatever started it. There's no way you do that to the guy who's running the damn camp, and he's got his resume on top of it. I mean, that's a no. I don't know who the kid's parents are. I don't know, but honestly, there's no amount of trash talking that it gets.
I think those guys are older.
Yeah, they don't look like little kids. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, look, teenage kids look big. I was big as a 17-year-old.
I don't think those were teenage kids.
I don't know what they were, but one guy who came up with the backpack on and the hood over his head, I don't know how old he could have been.
Somebody came out of nowhere and almost really nailed him.
Hit the other guy, yeah. Not Newton, he hit the other kid.
They were trying to hit Cam.
I thought he was trying to hit the kid.
I don't think so.
I think he was because he was aiming at him. He wasn't. He could have hit Newton. Newton's back was to him.
I thought he did hit him. Let's look at this. Let's have a breakdown of the fight.
Let's have a breakdown of the brawl. The Cam Newton Invitational, it's going to be called. So right there. That's the. How old is that kid?
See, so this is.
No.
So this is the part where it does kind of look like Cam is kind of like pushing that kid into the railing. That's when this kid says he saw his brother getting held on. So he starts swinging on him. Somebody in a white shirt comes over.
Yeah, now watch. He doesn't swing at Cam Newton.
Yeah, he did.
Not him. But... Where'd it go? I didn't see this whole thing.
I think they show it from another angle now. Dude, look how much bigger Cam is than everybody there.
I know, he's a giant.
Who's this big guy?
I don't know. So what? Whose cane was that? Was that Cam's?
I don't know.
That wasn't Cam's cane.
Watch this guy come in the white shirt. See, I think he swung at Cam.
I don't know. I think he swung at the guy Cam had in the headlock.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. So for those of you who haven't seen it,
Yeah, you still didn't.
check it out for yourself. You can go.
It must have been entertaining for them watching us
Watch us watch it. only on this show, it's like, fuck them for a minute. Let's see.
Oh, here's a different angle.
Yeah. See that?
I think he swung.
I thought he swung at the kid he had in a headlock.
But he's standing next to him at this point.
No, he's standing over there.
Maybe you're right. It's
It's hard to tell because they're all wearing black, so you don't know who's on top of who. It's like, see then those
why didn't he start swinging at that guy?
Yeah, that's how. Well, I don't know. And they look like they were gonna square off.
How did nobody have Cam's back? Nobody fucking hate.
I don't think anybody thought it was going to happen.
But he doesn't have players with him?
I don't know who he was talking to when it happened. I don't know if there's anybody around him that he knew. I don't know.
Imagine if, like, you were at your friend's camp.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine my dumb ass at a camp. And somebody started jumping me. Would it just be like, oh, shit, what's going on? What's going on over there?
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't happen.
A bunch of people should get in there and help him.
Well, a bunch of adults should break it up if it's kids. Yeah. But, I mean, I've seen things happen in the gym. People go after the ref. I've seen delusional, nutty parents do that before.
I've seen parents go
up.
When I was a kid, that happened on the baseball field. It scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, what the fuck's wrong with you? I mean, seriously, it's a fucking kid's game. Knock it off. As mad as I was at the ref last week when he called my son for traveling after the other team best played, I didn't fucking go after him. I didn't get a technical. So, I mean, let the kid, that's one of those let the kids just be kids because it's not.
Let the boy watch.
Yeah, because there's no scouts in the stands at that age. It doesn't matter. They're trying to learn how to play and have some fun.
I'm responsible for everything y'all do, whatever.
Guys who fought.
These are the guys.
The guys who fought Cam Newton.
Yeah.
They've got him on video.
We're on a podcast.
Responsible for everything y'all do, whatever. Then he grabs stuff. Okay. So me being my little brother, and I'm walking up a flight of steps, and I see a 6'6" guy grabbing my brother.
And got to grind every day, but why he grind right now? Every day we grind. Always. Every day, man.
The hell?
I made y'all responsible for everything y'all do, whatever. Then he.
See, he's saying that Cam had his hands on his brother.
Okay, but why?
I don't know.
Well, did your brother start it? And what happened? Did Cam just put his hands on your brother for no reason? Your brother's half his size. and by the way, everybody's cell phone has a camera on it. Why would Cam Newton do something so stupid?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, he had hands on my brother. What'd your brother do? What'd your brother say? Well, I mean, again, we're hearing half the story here. And I'm not saying Cam Newton isn't at fault. I don't know, but that's...
Y'all not throwing that, none throwing that Atlanta hero quarterback. Just cannot beat me. Can't beat for me.
This is him talking shit about Cam Newton prior to this. He's the one that said Cam had his hands on his brother.
So he was talking shit prior to it.
Right.
Oh, he sounds real innocent.
He said that non-throwing ass Atlanta hero quarterback.
Oh, wasn't it Carolina?
Yeah. I guess this is Cam at the...
Do your job. Defense communicate, offense
Sorry, I know that was boring. We can cut half this episode.
What can I say, America? He's not the best caller man in the league for nothing. Yeah, man. Check out the video. Let us know what you think in the comment section below because honestly, that video doesn't really answer. Only more questions get asked by looking at it. It doesn't tell you how it started or anything. So I'm sure at some point in the next day or so, a representative for Cam Newton will come out and tell his side of the story, and then we'll get to see. All right, they're gonna be the exact opposite. I can promise you that. So then we'll decipher where the truth is, I guess. But
dude, have you seen any of the stuff about Mecole Hardman and the Jets? A lot of shit talking about the Jets recently.
Really?
So
more than normal?
Yeah. Well, so Deion Dawkins, a Buffalo Bills defender, went on somebody's podcast and talked about how he fucking hates everybody on the Jets except Quinnen Williams, and they're all a bunch of bitch boys. It was weird. And then Mecole Hardman was on, a podcast. It might have been the Ryan Clark one, Pivot.
Yeah.
And they asked him what went wrong with the Jets, and he said, he's like, the coaching staff there, He was like, the offense was Aaron Rodgers. The whole offense was Aaron. And he was like, so when he went down, everybody's like, what do we do? And then
they did kind of do that.
And then he said, he was like, they were playing guys over me that I knew I was better than. He was like, Garrett Wilson's the only one that I would say was better than me.
He was a receiver.
I was a receiver,
Disgruntled receiver.
Yeah. And this is McCole Hardman, the guy that he was on the Chiefs, won a couple Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Left, Jets signed him. Didn't do anything, couldn't get on the field.
Yeah.
And then they let him go, and he caught the winning pass in the Super Bowl. McCole Hardman, that guy.
A wide open 5-yard screen.
Yeah, so he's there talking about how,
when
I was there, I was telling him, I know winning. I've got 3 Super Bowls. It's like, bruh. Like,
you had Patrick Mahomes.
and Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones.
Cheetah for some of
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Like,
and Steve Spagnuolo, Chris
But,
Jones.
he was just saying, he's seen what winning is, and it's not the things they were doing.
He's seen it.
So now Jets players start firing back, saying that during the season he leaked game plans to other teams.
Oh, for Christ.
And I'm like, damn, I wonder if it's true.
Who knows? You have cell phones, you have emails, you have things you can buy a cheap phone and send text and throw it in the trash, a non-traceable phone. Who knows? Is it possible? Sure. Anything's possible now. I can tell you that, right? So, but I mean, look, the true part is the Jets. That offense was Aaron Rodgers. That's totally true. That part is true because they had no plan B. They never had a plan B.
You could see that coming from a mile away.
They were throwing shit against the wall every week to see if something would stick. That's what they were doing.
Dude, I remember. So I bought into what the Jets were doing, but I remember a few weeks into Hard Knocks, and you asked me something, and I was like, the problem with the Jets is that they're mesmerized by their quarterback. Mm-hmm. They were in awe of everything he was.
Yeah, their puckers were attached to his booty.
Hey, Aaron.
Aaron, my turn. My turn. I
want to kiss his ass.
I only got to kiss his left butt cheek.
I want to kiss his ass. And they forgot that they still needed to prepare and plan like a normal football team.
Listen, the thing is with the Jets, they've been losers for so long because their decision making at the top just has always lacked. You want to start by firing yourselves because you guys have always been the ones to fuck this up. So whether it's the wrong coach, you hit your way.
Who is that? Woody Johnson is the owner.
Yeah, who's been owner for a long time, but they haven't mattered really since Joe Namath. And they've had a couple of years here and there. Rex Ryan had a little stint there for 2 years. That was it, And then they had Herm Edwards won a division back in 2001. So. There's been a little, a pulse here and there, but nothing more.
Did you say Rex Ryan?
Rex Ryan. He went to the college.
He made them relevant.
For 2 years he did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but eventually he got fired because he couldn't get past Belichick. So, and then he doubled down and went to Buffalo and got ass kicked by Belichick again. Which is why
Buffalo wasn't any good under him, were they?
No. Defense was. They were like 500. They weren't terrible. They were like 500. They would knock on the door, but they would always fundamentally do something stupid that would shoot themselves in the foot because that's their coach. He knows defense, but he doesn't care about the other shit, and it always bites him in the ass. Yeah. So, in any event, that's the Jets. So, is anybody really going to be surprised if they fall flat on their face next year? No. Rodgers is 40 years old. No one knows what he's going to be like coming off this injury, other than he's a year older. So, who knows? But they still have an offensive line problem. Yeah. That if they don't address that, doesn't matter what Aaron Rodgers does. He ain't going to do much from his ass right now. So, because that's where
there's also still the question of how's he going to look?
Yeah, he's 40.
Yeah.
He's not 30. He's
coming
40.
off not an ACL.
Yeah.
An Achilles. That can be the downfall.
That's career changing or can be. And the older you are. Now again, he's a quarterback, so he's not going to be planting and cutting.
Not a running back.
Not right. That. Yeah.
Not a receiver.
So can he come back? Yeah, he should be able to come back from this, but he's going to be a step slower, for sure. Okay, and in the NFL, 1 second can make all the difference.
His legs were important to him too.
They really were. They were, and he got better with them. He
Yeah.
became more of a pocket passer, like to stick around, and that was smart. But he has to be able to get out of some jams every now and then. If he can't do that, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because the Jets have to anticipate, and here's where the Jets front office has to be smart. They have to anticipate that, and spend the bulk of your defense is good enough. Go find the best offensive lineman, the best offensive line coach you can. That's what you need to do. Because nothing else matters if he's not upright.
And a backup quarterback who's worth a damn might help too.
Yeah, if they had 4 seconds to throw the ball. I mean, so that's what the Jets should be focused on. If
But
they're
I'm
not,
just
they're
saying,
idiots.
I'm just saying, you can't have Zach Wilson backing up Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Because if Aaron Rodgers goes down,
You
can't do
again.
anything.
They should have gone out and got a veteran. Even Brian Hoyer would have been better than that guy because he's a 16-year vet. He was still in the league. So
they could have had the guy that the Vikings got.
Could have had Flacco.
Flacco. Who was the Vikings guy that they got from
the African American kid.
Cleveland?
Yeah,
Was
he
it
was
Josh
good.
something?
Yeah, he was good. He won like a bunch of games.
Then he started throwing
Yeah,
picks.
Jacoby Brissett was out there. He's a good backup. They had options.
Dude, the Commanders
The thing is,
took him. And
they
just sat him.
couldn't admit, because again, to move Zach Wilson would have been admit they fucking whiffed on that so bad, and they couldn't bring themselves to do it, which is the worst part about it. Because there's no way that kid should have played another minute for the Jets after you got Aaron Rodgers. There's no way. He should have been gone, long gone. So, and again, he probably had no trade value, which is why he was still there.
Yeah.
Cut him. He's on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
Fucking cut him. I mean, and bring in a veteran. But that's where they fucked up. And make sure that he can run Hackett's offense, because that's Rodgers' offense. Whoever you bring in has got to have the ability to run that offense. It can't be a different.
That's the problem, though, is that it was Aaron's offense. And Aaron was able to run it because he's different.
Yeah.
You can't ask Zach Wilson to run Aaron Rodgers' offense.
No.
That's just dumb as shit.
I mean, you had to, the guys that are his style of play. First of all, if you think about these names, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar. These are all mobile quarterbacks who buy an extra 3-4 seconds with their legs and can roll out to their left and throw it across their body. Like, you got to find that dude. So I don't know how many backups have that kind of ability, but
No, you've got to change the offense once you go to the backup.
you have to change the offense. And
The problem is, it sounds like
this is what
Hackett's no genius. He had Aaron Rodgers.
This is the thing about why I always say Joe Gibbs is the greatest coach ever. He won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks in 8 years. And in the middle of that run was Joe Montana and Lawrence Taylor, guys like that.
No, not there.
What? Oh, sorry.
There.
The mistress.
I mean,
What?
just
I mean,
sorry.
Zoom in, pan in. I mean, right there.
It's just
Right there.
so nice.
Right there. That's wonderful. Anyway.
I mean, geez,
Anyway, the Jets suck.
just sparkling.
They're going to find a way to sabotage themselves, as they always will. So I'm
not
not
glistening.
I'm not worried about the
Sorry, keep going.
the Jets aren't glistening.
No, they're not.
they're not.
Something else is.
No, something else is. But anyway, that's going to do it for our show tonight, because on that note, I have to end it. I'm going to return either Thursday or Friday night to do the Giggle Smoke Guarantee and preview the college basketball weekend. He has an open invitation. If he's here, he's here. If he's not, I'm not going to hold my breath. We didn't do a show
doing
Monday.
Thursday night?
We can do Thursday.
Is that what you said? Thursday?
Thursday will be better than Friday. That's tomorrow night.
Oh shit! Tomorrow's Thursday.
That's right.
We'll see. Like you said, if I'm here, I'm here. If not, fuck it. Do it.
But anyway, until then, and if you're not, you'll probably see him Monday. Or who knows? Who knows what happens Saturday night? We never know. Saturday night's
That's always
everything's on the table.
It's a
Saturday
wild
night.
card.
Yeah, Saturday
Every
night's
now and
a
then
wild
I'll
card.
shoot you a text late.
Yeah.
Or
I
you'll
love
shoot
that.
me
By
one.
the way, that's the best part of my weekend. I'm not gonna lie. If I get a text at 10:30 on Saturday night because I'm just sitting there and he gives me the Joe Boo with a Yoda sign, it's like
Jedi session,
Jedi
soldier?
session, sir. Does that mean IDD? Probably.
Yes.
Probably. I'm sure I can think of
Late
something to
night
bitch
id.
about. But we will preview the college basketball weekend. By the way, Houston is now number 1. Purdue 2 and UConn fell to 3. Just so to keep you updated.
Who went into Kansas and
BYU of all?
BYU?
Yeah, Kansas is sinking.
what happened there?
I don't know. BYU was
They beat
ranked.
Houston 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
No, it was earlier. It was a month ago. That was when I gave us more.
That was that far?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That
No,
wasn't a month.
BYU was ranked though.
Oh, okay.
They were a good team. I mean, listen, the thing is, they'd won 68 or 69 in a row out of conference.
Big news. VCU beat Rhode Island tonight.
Good. They're off the bubble. But they're still on the bubble. What's their conference
They're
record?
on the bubble. I don't
They
know.
have
That's a
11
good
wins.
question.
But
Oh, in conference?
yeah, I think
Does that
11.
matter?
I think yeah. If you have a good in conference and you get to say they get to the finals of their conference tournament and they're a 23-win team that have 11, 12 wins, they're probably going to get a bid. Then if they're like an 18,
They're 11-4 in conference.
that's big.
19-9 overall.
That's big. How many games do they have left?
Good question.
If they go in that tournament 22-9 or 23-9 and they get to the, I'm telling you, there's a lot of cupcake leagues out there.
They got Richmond on Saturday.
Yeah, who's pretty good, right?
Duquesne. Yeah, Richmond's pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They have Richmond, Duquesne, and then Dayton again. If they could get another win over
Wow,
Dayton.
they beat Dayton twice. They're getting in.
And Dayton will be ranked both times they play.
If they beat Dayton twice, I think they're getting in. Just saying.
That's tough.
Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow night to discuss that. Maybe we see him, maybe we don't. A giggle smoke guarantee. 2 cents with Tommy would be nice. We'll leave it up to him. But
Dude,
anyway,
they're the 4th team in the league right now, though.
who's in front of them?
Loyola, Dayton, and Richmond.
Who they play this week?
They played both of them. Not Loyola, but
Donnie Brooks abound. So we'll see you guys on the other side. The High Question One. You know the drill.